When many moons ago, I decided to create the Level Up Your Life blueprint, it was simply because I had gone through the process of story work with another coach, and it hadn't gone very well at all. The reason why it hadn't gone very well, in all honesty, was because it was being taught by a wonderful coach. I mean, an amazing coach. Couldn't fault the girl, yeah, but she wasn't trauma informed. She wasn't somatic, which meant that the process of rewriting your own story meant that people were not being supported enough. So I've taken the last 2.5 years to unpack the way that was taught and put it back together again, because story work is really, really hard on, well, it was really hard on my system, and I wanted to make the benefits of story work available to you without the downsides of it being not somatic and not trauma informed. So 2.5 years later, I have created the Level Up Your Life blueprint. What are you going to gain from this program? Well, the first thing I want you to know is that it was originally taught to me as a 6-week experience, and that's not long enough to do this work in a genuine, trauma-informed, supported, somatic way. Yeah. Do you get me? So the first thing I did was expanded it to 13 weeks. And where it went from there is layering out all of the things that I got from the original experience, laying them all out in a logical step-by-step way while doing it. Buddy, do shut your face. There's a good boy. Anybody who knows me and has done any coaching with me knows that Buddy is a part of the coaching process. He's a rescue dog, and he's a bit of a noodle. He barks at unknown things. But anyway, so in this 13-week experience, yeah, the things that you're going to gain, right? You're going to gain a new perspective on your own personal history, yeah, the history and the stories that you tell yourself. Yeah? You know the ones that justify your behavior, the ones that explain your behavior. Yeah. Your history and your narrative and the way you tell your story to yourself has given you a lot of excuses up to now, but you can learn how to live without those excuses. You can learn to live in a way where you have survived all of the stuff that has happened to you, yeah, and move on from those people who have created unhelpful coping mechanisms in yourself. Yeah? This is literally a proven method of how you can rewrite your narrative, except this time it's done in a trauma-informed way, supported by a fully certified and trauma-informed somatic coach. I'm also, by the way, a fully trauma-informed and somatic breathwork facilitator. And there will be breathwork available to you within this program. But I think one of the most important things that you will gain from this 13-week experience is an opportunity to choose to change. Yeah. Have you heard that phrase that goes, what you don't change, you choose? Yeah. This gives you the chance to change and the choice to do it on your own terms, using your own narrative and your own body and your own empowerment to do it. Yeah. And if you don't believe in yourself, because I know a lot of the people who, who follow me, who are, probably seeing this live, you don't believe in yourself. And the reason why you don't believe in yourself is you haven't been shown how to. And I can show you how to without those niggling little doubts that undermine you. Yeah. So another thing I wanted to cover today is how this program will help you overcome specific challenges. Yeah. One part of the process of the Level Up Your Life Blueprint is identifying the patterns that repeat within your life. Yeah. And you may not be able to see them, but with help and a fresh pair of eyes, yeah, mine, I will be able to see them. And I will be able to help you to become aware of those things rather than you just living on autopilot and it all just going along without even your say so, yeah, your permission. Because what happens in your brain is your brain forms these neural pathways, and these pathways repeat and repeat and repeat. And the stronger they get, the more likely you are to repeat them. And the more likely you are to repeat them makes them stronger. But let's have a think for a second. Have you heard that saying that goes, a lesson will repeat until you learn it? Yeah. Or the universe is not going to give you what you want until you've received what you need. Yeah. So that phrase, yeah, a lesson will repeat until you learn it. What does that mean to you? Yeah. What thing is pinging up with you now? Is it maybe comfort eating, binge eating, choosing bad boys as partners, and becoming less and less surprised when they treat you like, yeah? What things are repeating for you? Does this concept of lessons repeating until you learn them, does it make sense to you? Because each time you actually learn the lesson, yeah, you are then free from it repeating and repeating and repeating and repeating because you learn it, yeah? You can see it coming. I spent some of my life married to an alcoholic. I can now spot an alcoholic 200 yards off. Here's another saying, yeah? You cannot manage what you cannot measure. That's more of a sort of a business saying. And the reason why I've brought it up is because when we set goals for ourselves, sometimes the result is not measurable. Yeah? You know, I'm going to be happy when I lose weight. Yeah. How much weight? By when? And why are you doing it? That's the thing that's often missed out, especially with things like weight loss goals, because of how we've been conditioned to think that, you know, slim and funny is what makes us loved. But I bet you weren't slim and funny when you were a baby and screaming bloody murder in the middle of the night, but you were still loved. Now, becoming aware of your patterns, your problems, your issues, and your feelings around them is the first step to changing them. Yeah. And that's why I brought that phrase up. You know, you can't manage what you can't measure. It's not about measuring your feeling. It's about being aware of them. And this is where this story work, this version of story work, this particularly totally different. I mean, I'm doing this from experience, yeah, from my experience. I have had a couple of questions sent in to me already. Let me just find those. Yeah, here they are. Here they are. So the first question: what if I don't have any specific traumas I can identify? Okay. Now, just because this is a fully trauma-informed program doesn't mean that we're going to go in with a big stick to poke the bear, yeah, or rattle the trauma, yeah, because it's not about finding trauma. It's about finding patterns and deciding, choosing if you want to behave differently, yeah. But then saying that, what it does mean it being a trauma-informed program, that is, what that means is that if trauma does come up, I'm ready. I've got you. I am fully able to support you should past trauma crop up. Yeah, that's where the trauma-informed part of this is. I'm never going to expect you to rebuild things in a way that doesn't feel right. I'm never going to ask you to relive an experience. Yeah. Being trauma-informed means that my methods are set up, yeah, are learned in a way that will not re-traumatize you. You will not be required to relive. The blueprint, yeah, itself, the Level Up Your Life blueprint, will allow you, yeah, to get unhelpful stories and patterns initially out of your head into a document. You know, type them up. The reason why I say type them up is because you'll need to share them with me, and if you're not, you know, down the road, I'm going to be able to, you know, I need to be able to read them to help you find your own patterns. And initially, you need to get them out of your head. So you get to choose all the way through this process, yeah? And you get to choose the role you are taking in your life, in your story, when you start to rebuild it. Yeah? Quite often, that choice is going to be in between victim and survivor. Yeah? Trigger warning, trigger warning, trigger warning, trigger warning. Yeah? When I was younger, I was raped. And for years, I lived my life as if it had just happened. Yeah, I lived my life as a victim. And when I started to work through it and actually acknowledge the fact that I was living as a victim, yeah, I made the decision to rewrite that part of my life as a survivor of that thing that happened, because it had happened in the past, long way in the past. Yeah? It wasn't happening now. I didn't need to behave that way now. I choose not to behave as a victim. Yeah? I decided to behave as a survivor. We will explore patterns and how those past experiences may be influencing your present day belief and behaviors. That's the long and the short of it. We're not there to, you know, to, like I said, poke the bear. That's not what it's about. Okay, the next question is, how does the 13-week program work? What does each week look like? Well, right now, the program consists of 7 learning spaces, yeah, or modules. For instance, the first module is a workshop that I did live some time ago now. It's just before Christmas, I think. That recording is a 1-hour workshop-like experience to get you familiar with what story work is about and how that's going to level up your life. Yeah. That one is the longest one. It's just over an hour, like I said, and I chopped it so that the Q&A session that we had after that, yeah, is separate. So that's one module, 2 videos. One is an hour long, one is the Q&A. Yeah. The remaining 6 videos are much shorter, much shorter. And I may even put this recording into the program for you to rewatch again. But like I said, there's 6 more videos, each giving you guidance and a step-by-step way of completing this program. Yeah. And going into each of the steps of the process. Now, there are gaps between each of the videos. Some are, you know, a 1-week gap. Some are a 4-week gap. That allows you plenty of time to work through each of the exercises. which focus on a specific aspect of the journey. Yeah. It's a gradual deepening of your own understanding of yourself. It's a gradual unpicking of your patterns and a gradual process of healing. Yeah. It's the healing gap that is 4 weeks long. And I'm not expecting anybody to, like, heal every single wound. There are some people who've been through so much that healing, all of it, is going to be a lifelong effort. But within the program, there are 4 weeks set out for you to either identify and make a start on the healing processes. And during that 4 weeks, there will be access to me, access to Q&As, access to any and all of the modules in the 3Ps system, which is what supports my community. Now, you'll also have access to the community, actually. Talking of community, you'll have access to the community chat and the weekly Q&A calls for 13 weeks. Yeah. And modules, breath work, there's a body connection meditation, all of those things that you need are included. And once you've done this 13-week program, you can continue on into the community should you wish to. Yeah, should you wish to. Next question. Will the program be suitable for beginners with no prior experience of personal development? Yes, absolutely. The reason why I say yes, absolutely, is because it's designed that way to be accessible to all levels. We start with foundational concepts of connecting to your body, writing down your story, looking at your story, almost categorizing patterns. Yeah, all of this is all about discovery. It's all about discovery. Yeah, and all the way through it, if you're a real beginner, right, lean on the community chat. It's based in WhatsApp and the calls where you can ask for support. Yeah, so if you're between weekly calls and something's cropped up and you need me, there will be a way for you to contact me really easily. If this program is beginning to sound like something you want to have a go at, yeah, like I said, quickest way, Facebook Messenger. But in the coming days, I'm going to be keeping an eye on other messenger connections to make sure that I don't miss anybody. If you're getting emails from me, reply to any one of them. That will come straight to me. And I can answer any more of your questions there. During the course of the 13-week experience journey, yeah, there will be, in addition to that support, there will be one-to-one. I was trying to stop it. Just a second. Jimmy. The dear. It's a monkey, isn't he? There will be access to me in the form of one-to-one coaching. Yeah. There will also be recommended reading, modules from the 3Ps system, and referrals. I mean, when I'm talking about referrals, if there is something that comes up that I am not fully equipped to deal with, right? And those of you on Facebook will see all of this stuff. Let me just, all of that. If for whatever reason I am not fully able to deal with something that crops up for you, I will find someone to support you. Yeah. And that's my responsibility and my promise to you that whatever comes up, yeah, whatever it is, we will get through it. Yeah. And we'll get through it together. The reason why I'm saying through is because this is not about finding a problem and avoiding it, or finding a problem and numbing it. This is about finding out what's going on in your story, and putting it back together in a way that works, in a way that is healed, in a way that is responsible. Yeah. Sometimes we We hide behind things. Again, going back to that story I mentioned earlier, I did speak to a number of other women to whom that had happened. And many of them found that intimate relations with boyfriends or men or partners had been influenced by that attack on them physically. Yeah, this does happen, and we can work through it. Okay, the next question. Oh, yes, I remember this one. What if I am not comfortable sharing my personal experiences in a group setting? Totally get that. Oh, I totally get that. It's challenging sometimes to feel that vulnerable. But in a lot of cases, when you do open yourself up and when you are vulnerable, that's when the support of other people will be drawn to you. The group environment itself is designed to be safe and supportive. Yeah. But unless you're in this first wave, the chances are you're not all going to start on exactly the same day. So there's going to be some who are slightly ahead of you, some who are slightly behind you in terms of the process. Yeah. But you will always be in a safe, supportive environment in this coaching container. There's a strong emphasis on confidentiality. Yeah. I'm going to be talking to anybody who wants to join the process to make sure, look them in the eyes and say, look, are you actually willing to be completely confidential? Yeah. Your story in full is only shared with me. You are fully in control of what you share in the chat or on group calls. Yeah. You're always welcome to share and share at your own pace. Going back to that one-to-one, yeah, built into the program, there are 3 hours of one-to-one working with me, and more if you need it. Yeah, but built in is 3 hours. Now, I was asked by somebody to talk about the investment, right? This I'm going to fly through really quickly, because if you want more information, I've got a little document with everything in, including this slot, right? We're going to go in first come, first served to a maximum of 15 people at any one time. Yeah, 15. Basically, because I am 100% certain that I can support 15 people at a time doing this, right? This will allow for, and the way I've worked this out is 15 people, if they all need a 1 hour session with me in the same week, yeah, that's 15 1 hour sessions over 5 days. That's 3 a day. If I do any more than 3 one-to-one sessions per day, I'm going to start to be less energetically up for it. Yeah. And you deserve the best. So that's why I've capped it at 15. There is full details available. Just drop me a message and I'll send it to you. I'm putting it together so that it'll be on the other end of a link. Oh, actually, that link is available. If you're on my mailing list, right? What day is it today? Thursday. If you're on my mailing list, you will get information tomorrow. Yeah, the full blurb tomorrow. And there will be a wait list opening on Sunday. So if you don't get in, don't panic. I'm going to get you on a list, because with 15 people all at once, imagine these 10 fingers are the 15 people. Once the people who are ahead of you finish, I can take more on at the other end. Yeah. And that's how it's going to work. Make sure, though, that you ask your questions. And if you want more information on this, you want to know how to join, how to start, that's easy. Yeah, just message me. Whatever your question is, message me. Whatever your query is about when you can start, message me. That's all you've got to do. Send me a message. Anyway, I'm going to say Bye-bye for now.